Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Duval Dive. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game.
I'm Travis Holmes with BigCatCountry.com.
And we're doing this on the Believe Podcast Network. Duval Dive live in the building. I'm playing the thing. Local Jaguar in great mood. And of course, listen, Travis, you came out and predicted it. You're going full uncut gems. This is how I win, says the Jags. And I mean, I know the Broncos fans are all out there doing their best. Height. And I know there was some questionable officiating on both sides. And I understand all of the above with that. We'll get into all of those things in the analysis like we do. At some point, I have to mention penalties. Some interesting things I saw on the O-line. I'm sure you found a number of things in defensive back play by both sides. Parker freaking Washington. All the things we got to talk about. I just listed it out there. But Travis, you pointed it out to me as we got into place here about the petty that's stirring up all around. And you reminded me, first of all, it all started with us looking at the game previews. And of course, the two Homer people, of course, I mentioned MJD and Bucky Brooks and Daniel Jeremiah, the 3 of the 10 NFL.com analysts. And now I add myself to the name that picked the Broncos. The respect ain't coming. The conversation had.
Yep.
And, well, I know Liam Coen addressed it. Travis, I know you want to push the button to get Coach involved here.
Well, no. Liam Coen, shout out to Liam, man. He says exactly how he feels, and he knows what gets a rise out of this team. And just, hey, man, I don't got to say, he said it in his post game.
A small market team like us can come into a place like Mile High and get it done.
We've got to be on point. They mix it up defensively. They've got a very talented punt returner. And so as you look at them and you watch the tape, it's a smaller market, but you see a real good team.
By the way, I completely forgot he mentioned the punt returner in question. Go ahead, Travis.
He gave him multiple compliments, but he still mentioned the small market thing, and that was the nugget that he needed. That was the nugget Coen needed. Like, when I tell you, he is pushing all the buttons that he knows works for his team, all the extra saltiness, all the extra pettiness, because that's what gets these guys riled up. It's working, man. Like, if you heard all the people talking about it in their post game, if you heard Travon Walker and his comments about folks not believing it. Oh, I mean, no. I didn't want to push forward into that just yet. I wanted to talk about all the disrespect that came before this, anyways. Because folks, I don't need folks out here in these streets rewriting history after the fact. About like, you got the guys on first things first. I mean, come on, y'all heard it.
We basically scored the same. But the Jags are 1-1 against the Texans. Can I tell you something about the Jags? What? Like most of America, I just don't care. See, that's at all. I'm sorry, I just don't care. You think most of America is pining for more?
You do realize this is why I said what I said last week about media members openly saying, "Oh, I don't watch the Jags. I don't care." Okay, keep not caring, Humpy Bumpies. Postseason's coming. Playoffs.
Right. It's a lot of receipts out there. It's a lot of bookmarks being thrown out to the socials tonight in these streets. There's a lot of people with some real tight butt cheeks out there that's just avoiding the socials for a little bit. They're gonna be on mute because they ain't trying to hear what these Duval about, what these people in this Duval County fan base are about to be talking about. Some wild things in these streets after this 14-point victory by the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. Victory Monday. I hope y'all enjoy it because I know it's going to be some wild things. I know it's not a Super Bowl and anything like that, but it definitely felt like a playoff atmosphere. And the Jaguars, despite coming out early on, struggling to kind of like, it felt like it was going to be one of those struggle type games. Offensively, they were trying to figure each other out. They were filling each other out on both offenses. But once the offensive explosion started, it was a dominant and very exciting game. And again, shout out to Trevor Lawrence, shout out to Liam Coen, shout out to all these guys, but no one bigger than Parker Washington. Shout out to that man.
That punt returner.
What chop wood, carry water. Lord, you said that punt returner, that receiver. Yes. I'm giving that man the credit he deserves. That receiver, Parker Washington. Like, I mean, you guys are listening to us right now. You probably already saw the game, but on the off chance you didn't, you saw the plays. Like Trevor Lawrence made an impossible throw through a defender. Parker Washington still brings it down and catches it. And again, Trevor puts it in an impossible spot. And Parker brings it down while he's bobbling the ball, falling down on the ground, like in the end zone. That opens the scoring. Then he makes 2 different catches, splitting the defense, getting yak. We talked about this on Wednesday's Duval Dive. This Denver defense don't give up yak. Like yards after the catch, they simply do not. They are very good at not missing tackles. And in this game, Parker Washington, the punt returner, in your words, found a way.
No. In Sean Payton's words, let's get that right. Hold on.
No, and he found a way to be the quote unquote punt returner in space. And he made dudes miss when he was 1-on-1 and sometimes even 2-on-1 in space. And Trevor Lawrence, shout out to him. Once he found that he had a matchup advantage with Parker Washington against the third cornerback for Denver, or against the safety or linebacker or whoever, he just kept going to the well. Again, 145 of Trevor Lawrence's 287 yards, something like that. I don't have it in front of me. I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence had 279 yards, and 145 of them came from Parker Washington. Like, as soon as he realized that was a matchup advantage, he kept going back to the well. Like we said earlier this week, like Peyton Manning used to do, like Brady used to do. When you find a weakness or a deficiency in the other team's defense, you continue to go at that person until they quit or until they change the defense. Denver doesn't, because they play exclusively man for the most part, or a lot of man. And Parker Washington just destroyed them boys. And shout out to all those guys for continuing to go back to that well.
And as a side note, the stats don't have the pass interference that he drew in the end zone that gave the opportunity for, I believe that particular one was polished off by Trevor, was it? I'm trying to remember. It was ET.
Oh, the Trevor one, the 1 yard touchdown run.
Yeah. That was Trevor, right? Or was that
that was Trevor?
Yeah, that was Trevor. Okay. Punchline is, like, that's yet another thing the punt returner, air quotes, took care of on offense. Fantastic thing.
And it was such a weird game, bro. Again, I would love to be clear and honest about what the game was versus what it wasn't. Like, it was a great playoff atmosphere, and you're not going to blow teams out all the time. But against this Denver Broncos defense, a 14-point win feels very much like a blowout. And I know that's not what the game was. I know the turnovers had a significant impact on that. Like, I get that. But nevertheless, the Jaguars only got 3 points off turnovers. It just felt like after they turned the ball over and after that Pat Bryant hit, that the game was effectively over. The Jaguars, like, I think the Jaguars have been, to Social Alky's point, he says Mike Dicker voice, we became a team today. To that point, I think the Jaguars have realized that they were a team a lot longer before Jacksonville Jaguars fans did. I think Jacksonville Jaguars fans who may have had that tight booty, who may have had that lemon booty. Up until this point, kind of understand now who this team truly is, because there were still some questions even in the fan base about what this team truly was. And now it's looking like, oh, dang, they are top of the league good.
Buddy, when I tell you like this, okay, I was seen by some as optimistic, saying 8 wins. Okay. That's blown out of the water. I've made my apologies. But nobody, even the most delusional member of the Duval Devout, credibly, was in a position where they could say, yeah, in these final weeks of the NFL, the Jags are dancing with a potential 14-win season, and it feels probable at this point.
13.
Yeah, I said 14. My
13,
bad.
13. Yeah, I got you.
Season, and it seems probable.
Yes, and that's the wild part.
Probable.
That is the wild part. They are truly flirting. They are flirting with the number 1 seed. They are flirting with a bye week and having the playoffs go through Duval. Like, they have what is it? So the guys over for the Athletic, this is from before the game, just a bit, let everybody know. I believe if they won today, which they did, and if they win out, then they have a 45% chance at a number 1 seed.
That's insane.
That's if they went out, just because usually still that's a coin flip, basically, depending on what's going to happen with New England, depending on what's going to happen with Denver.
If you hate watching, that game's going on right now, just so you know. So when you're done here, go there.
Yeah. Mute the game and just like watch what's going on. Maybe you can let us know.
Yeah. Like, if you don't, I get that my face may not be the best one to look at. That's fine.
But no, so you're absolutely rooting. If you're a Duval, you are already rooting for New England to lose. You're rooting for the Denver to lose future games. But now, I mean, we already had the Duval Dive rooting guide. We put that out on the Duval Dive on the socials. So check out Duval Dive on Twitter or wherever else. TikTok, YouTube, you're listening already. Yeah, you're hoping for the Chargers to beat the Cowboys today. They did. So you want them to be able to play their starters against Denver in Week 18, where they're trying to compete for that division. Hopefully, fingers crossed they continue doing that. You wanted the Raiders to beat the Texans today. They didn't because Raiders, and that's fine. It is what it is. And you're hoping that the Ravens upset the Patriots tonight, and hopefully that's going Duval's way because, again, right now it seems like everything's going Duval's way as far as the night's concerned. And maybe, fingers crossed, if the 49ers can beat the Colts on Monday Night Football, the Jaguars will effectively clinch a playoff spot there, and the Colts will be eliminated from division title contention because that pretty much would belong to either the Texans or the Jaguars at that point for the AFC South. So that's kind of where we are, and we'll talk about Wednesday, all the different downstream impacts of everybody else's future schedule. I know we're looking for the Chargers to hopefully beat the Broncos, and you're hoping for that loss tonight, and then all of a sudden the Jaguars in first place, true contention, like driver's seat at that point. I mean, I'm excited to have another playoff game in Duval already, but to have a number one seed, like multiple games in Duval, is just something that wasn't even on my radar, bro.
I mean, if it's a number one seed, that's fewer playoff games in Duval. I mean, there is that.
But it's multiple playoff games in Duval, and that's my point, right? It's it's 2 games at least.
So with that in mind, here's the thing, and I'm going to bring this up here too. Mike Clinton, a friend of the show, by the way, might miss the stream, he says, but the most overlooked reason the Jags pulled away will be the balanced offense shift in the second half. Trevor threw over 20 passes in the first half, ended the day with around 30. I think there's something to that, but another thing I want to point out, Reyes in the comments, as he typically is, that O-line held up. Trevor was outstanding, and Parker Washington was a stud. Travis, I'm curious about something. Early in the game, everybody's favorite offensive lineman to rag on that's not named Parker Washington left the field. From that point on, there was a distinct improvement. Now, this isn't me saying Patrick McCarry is a bad offensive lineman.
Sure.
What I'm saying is the guy that's fully healthy might be the better choice. But that's not even where I'm taking my victory lap.
Okay.
I was mocked. Granted, it wasn't considered a crackheady take like me calling them winning the division. No, I was mocked by people when I talked about Parker Washington as a guard candidate starting instead of left tackle. And when McCarry left the field, who's the dude that took up arms at the right guard position and didn't do that bad a job?
Walker Little. No, it was an interesting thing because Walker Little is a dominant run blocker as a left tackle. But as a guard, it's a little bit different. So you never know how that's going to work out. And it seemed to reasonably work out well. And I say reasonably work out well. Like the Jaguars did. I'm going to be honest and say the Jaguars didn't do well in running the ball today. Like they didn't. But it was better than it started.
Yeah. A, B, and I think there's an element of it too. And this is talked about a lot everywhere. And I know last week we quoted some stuff from the squad pod on Locked On Jaguars, where me, O'Brien, Marcus Ogden were talking about that run game in the later minutes. And then this was what Mike Clinton was talking about in the comments too. That element that the O-line got shored up enough to continue the beat down in the trenches there, which the fact that D-line was, I'm not going to say they got dominated, but they darn sure didn't prevent balance like we thought might happen. Right. And I think that's the point that Mike makes, is there was balance in the force.
I don't know. I think they tried to make sure they needed to run clock. If anything, I think they just knew that they had the game in control, not necessarily like a blowout at that point, but I think that they knew and they saw on the horizon. Oh, no, we're up 7. All right, they come out of the half. They immediately tied the game right back up. But at that point, we can see this. We see how this is shaping up. We can control this game. Yeah. We can control this game if we choose to, because running the ball earlier on, it just wasn't happening. It wasn't there.
Right.
So they were okay with the extensions of the run game, trying to throw the ball to the running back, trying to throw the backward throws, and I didn't love some of those also, just being honest. Like, I still think there is a concern on the lack of an explosive run game since the bye week. We've talked about this again for multiple weeks. I'm not going to pretend that that doesn't exist, but this was also a different sort of test. This was the number 2 team at stopping the run in the NFL. It's going to be kind of hard to say, make a global assessment of the run game based on that, and then you're down one of your offensive linemen. Like, I get that too, so I'm not trying to be crazy.
100%. And no, and you aren't. I don't think. See, here's the part that I think, and I'm not accusing you of being a box score watcher. Here's the part that the perspective I would offer from the trenches is sure, the numbers overall aren't impressive, but damn it, Travis, there were some big runs in this game that turned this game on its head in a lot of ways. Trevor running for his life and getting first downs, getting the running touchdown. There were just big moments on the ground that kept things alive, and you don't do that if you're dominated in the trenches. You just can't.
But I disagree, and I don't mean this to argue with you. It's just the fact that they got 26 yards on the ground on 15 carries. Like, if you take away the 124-yarder that they had, because there was one point that he had zero yards rushing after the 5-yard loss on the first 6 carries. So I'm like, and then he got the 24-yard rush, and then I'm like, all right, well, cool. Well, so if you got 26 yards on the other 15 carries, nah, bro, there is no world where I can call that a good day. I'm not trying to be a box score watcher. I'm just saying your long was a 24-yarder.
Who used the term good day? I think that's where we're thrown off here.
All right, maybe. All right, you're saying it wasn't a struggle on the ground and there were some big plays. I'm saying there was one big play. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying balance was found. Right?
I'm saying they tried to run it.
The bigger question is, how much of that was Parker Washington at guard? Most of it, to your point, was successful passing, and Trevor
Parker Washington at guard. You threw me off. You said Parker Washington at guard, and I was trying to figure out what you meant.
All right, Walker Little at guard.
Yeah, gotcha.
See, we're supposed to have moved on to Parker Washington by now. That's what I'm joking. No, but what I'm getting at is getting that element of balance that still exists. And I think the point you're adequately making is that set up by Waffle House Willie himself, Trevor Lawrence, dropping absolute dimes, putting the ball into tight windows. And listen, I'm not here to take anything away from Trevor Lawrence, but my man is attending a church. And it is faith in Parker Washington. Shoot, Parker there somewhere.
Nah, man, all-star special.
It's not wrong because he is.
Nah, man, Waffle House Willie came with that all-star special today. That's all I know. Like, he came ready to order his favorite order and just dominate out there on these folks. And I'm sorry, like, you and Mike seem to think that it's about balance. I get why you believe that. I personally feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars, once they found those matchups, like, they didn't really even try to go deep early on. Like, I actually was disappointed at the half that I thought, oh no, y'all had a few opportunities to go deep. Whether it's BTJ, whether it's any of the other receivers that's not named Jacoby Myers, because I actually think they did some pretty solid coverage, bracketing him on a few different occasions. I'm really interested in seeing that all 22 tape. But overall, I think the other guys were truly one-on-one. In a very many of those situations, I would have loved to see more deep shots. Like, they missed Parker Washington on that one. Let's say it was probably around a 30-yard, I guess we'll call it a crossing route, where he tripped out of the break, where Patrick Surtain trips on the ground.
There was one that hit with one hand.
More like that one. Yeah, more like that. More shots like that. I think they would have actually had a much bigger day. Like, I think the Jaguars could have broke 40-45 at that point, just giving more of those downfield opportunities. But I understand why they wanted to stand on the field and being efficient. I get both sides of this. So nevertheless, all I'm getting at is, I didn't think that the run game was efficient. And I think if you're going to be giving me a yard a carry, 2 yards a carry, just to say you can run play action, at that point, man, just throw the ball 50 times, 60 times, and just because Trevor was on it anyways.
What's crazy was agreed with me on the point I made about this very thing on Wednesday on the Duval night. Now, granted, it wasn't to the same extent that it typically is, right? But there's plenty of handoffs on the doorstep that get smacked. All right, and stopped, but it still eventually leads to a touchdown, right? The run that set up the Brenton Strange touchdown at short range there too, that kept everybody honest by showing run in the first attack, right? That hurts.
This run? Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, that 24-yarder. with Anton Harrison out there just showing.
I'm not talking about that one, but that's pretty darn smooth. No, I'm talking about a run that you won't have a highlight clip for, right? They're on the doorstep. They run one up the middle, and then I think it was before the Strange touchdown. I forget which, but the punchline is there were a number of attempts. Listen, this being an instant reaction show, I haven't had time to pull them all out of the playoff, the play sheet, but there are a number of attempts, and even Trevor's touchdown run, all those things, air quotes, hurt your all numbers, right? And they're going to give those carries to Etienne because he's sure with the ball. This isn't, I'm so bad. This isn't Tank Bigsby, right? The balls aren't going to get fumbled in that instance. And it's not prolific. This is what we mean by balance, because if you completely abandon it or you're completely dominated, the ability to even turn that 1 yard run into something significant, the ability to get that one piece is what's gone. That's where I'm at. And the point he makes,
they'll play into it. They'll play into that, what you're doing on offense if you just continue not even trying to run the ball. I understand it.
Yeah, that's what it is. And the fact they still got significant moments out of this again, I think I'm putting more stock in it than you are. I'll grant that, but I think that matters. And you're thankful for the small market team. That's beautiful.
No, I got you. No, and Reyes says the O-line held up. I appreciate. I think that's reasonable, and it sounds crazy to say when you gave up 5 sacks on the day, because it almost feels like they just got destroyed. But most of those sacks, and I'd be willing to bet, if not 3, if not 4 of those sacks would have came on third down. And you know how I feel about that. I've been very consistent saying if a sack happens on third down, you're just trying to make a play. You're just trying to figure out a way to extend the drive. I get it. Those are the only sacks that I truly understand, because I'm team sacks are a quarterback stat. And just in case anybody's new to the pod, I'm always that kind of guy. Unless it's like a really ridiculously quick sack. Sacks are a quarterback stat. That's just kind of where I land on this. Topa says Trevor cooked an elite defense. This ain't the first.
And that's the point. But that's the point we really need to land here too. You mentioned the 5 sacks. Can we please give the Broncos guys a little credit? It ain't like they trash.
But and the refs as bad as they were, let them play. Set it on the social during the game, and that's when everybody kind of agreed. And I'm happy to see the Duval devout fan bases are generally in agreement. The refs were bad. Absolutely. Full stop. But the refs were bad for everyone. They were bad for the Broncos. They were bad for the Jaguars. They were bad for America. Just in general, the refs were consistently bad in this game. But I don't think they favored necessarily one team. That's the overall point that I walked away from this game. And with that being said, they weren't just calling pass interference on one team or not the other. They weren't just not calling holes and everything else. Like, there were multiple plays where I'm like, and they're like, nobody's open down the field. And then they show the replay for the Denver defense. And I'm like, dude,
they were holding.
Why is Brian Thomas Jr. has half of his jersey just being stretched off the screen? And on the other one, Parker Washington has his towel being held and you can see it. And I'm like, well, obviously they letting them play. So as long as they're consistent, letting them play, I'm okay with that. Because as a DB, you can adjust to how the refs are calling the game. I'm okay with that part. So that's when I say they let them play. That's why nobody was downfield, but also they still found a way to find their matchup, despite the fact that these refs were kind of letting them get away with a little extra, if you know what I mean.
But hey, and this is the conversation we had, this and others too. Cole Van Lannon put Benito in the dirt at least 4 or 5 times. And again, this is a really good D-line, a really good defense, right? Man, listen.
But he said Trevor did well against an elite defense, because that's the other point that I wanted to kind of talk about. It ain't just Trevor. Liam Coen did a great job. Because again, early in the game, we all thought this is going to be a struggle bus. People started getting a little nervous. People started getting a little tight booty, because they're like, oh, if this offense don't get something right, this ain't going to be well, Duval. And then all of a sudden they figured it out. Hey, wait. Patrick Surtain is going to be on BTJ, or Patrick Surtain is going to be on Jacoby. Riley Moss is going to be on the other guy. Who's my third guy? Is it going to be Brenton Strange? Is it going to be Parker Washington? Once I figure out who that third guy is, Parker Washington made a great contested catch. Let me go back to that well. 10 targets later, 145 yards later, it's like, that's in the version of replacements. I ain't going to say the curse word, but that's my B. That's the mark. We'll say that's the guy you're circling on the whiteboard. That's the guy we're going to attack.
I know where you're at. Yeah. That's my please.
So that's kind of where I'm landing. It's like, all right, cool. Trevor Lawrence, Liam Coen, they figured it out. early, like toward the end of that first quarter, we'll say, all right, cool. We're not going to be able to beat this guy because they're leaning coverage here. We're not going to be able to beat that guy. All right, cool. No, that's my guy. All right, PJ Locke. We talked about him on Friday's Duval Dive preview. He's a bad safety who they didn't want to be playing because Brandon Jones ended up being put on IR the week before this game. And I said it then to you guys, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm putting up 200 yards in the air against that dude. I'm going to attack that dude in the red zone. And he did. Brenton Strange's touchdown on lock. Mm-hmm. Parker Washington's what was it, the 25 yarder, whatever it was, 24 yarder on lock. And I was like, every time he needs to get out of jail free card, go to that dude. That's what goodness gracious, Peyton Manning used to always do. You find that dude, I'm going to attack him when I need to get out of jail. That's what the best quarterbacks do. And Trevor Lawrence is right now he's playing like those best quarterbacks, quote unquote. So yeah, man, shout out to this team.
I like Tron. I have it on muted while I watch and listen to y'all. Appreciate you on that, Tron. Yeah, I think there's an element of that. That's absolutely more than an element. I think that is the truth. And man, listen, I too completely see. I was trying to avoid that silliness, and you had to let that in there. No,
I like to let these guys have their fun. Hey, man, Duval ain't had a winning season like this in a long time. Like you talking 2017, and more importantly, unexpected.
I was completely different. Listen,
let these guys get it off. It's a great moment. Chop wood, carry water. Let's go.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for the pod listeners to jump into the YouTube channel and see what that comment was. There you go. Yeah, this is the one that makes me laugh. Tapa in the comments, we don't need Liam Coen anyway. Signed Buccaneers fans. That's so great.
Oh, I mean, again, this is not the Super Bowl, and I want to be clear. And I want Liam Coen, and I want Jaguar fans, and I want this team and all the people associated with anything related to the Jacksonville Jaguars organization right now to enjoy this night. I want you guys to just enjoy being a winning organization, but also with being a winning organization becomes winning organization like mandates or winning organization like goals. And this is great. It's awesome. It feels good. But now the next goal is going to change on Tuesday morning when it's all right, cool. Now that we got that out of our way, let's go and finish these last two teams and get this home field advantage. And then let's get in the playoffs and let's win some real games. That's truly going to matter when all of this is said and done. Reyes says it feels better because it feels like they're winning in a sustainable way this time. Yes, sir. That's it, because that was always my biggest complaint with Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke's organization was y'all got on me. All the Duval listeners of the Duval Dive, a lot of y'all got on me on the socials and in our chat saying when I was after a playoff victory saying this is going to set the playoff, this is going to set this organization back a few years, and people still talk to me about that podcast. I just tell you how I feel. I don't care if it's good for the team or not, like if it makes you feel good or not. I'm just telling you what I feel. I thought that win was going to set this organization back because I didn't think that they were winning in sustainable ways. I thought they were just finding ways for Trevor Lawrence to out-win bad coaching, if that made sense. This looks different. This looks like a well-coached team who is also playing with some good players and putting these guys in right positions. And shout out Anthony Campanile also. We've talked a lot about this offense, but they held the Denver Broncos to 20 points. That's impressive. It's not to say the Denver's not had a few games this season where they've struggled, but they lean into all the things that we talked about, the film showing that Bo Nix was going to struggle with. Like, Bo has some good throws generally. Like, he put up 300 and something yards, but on 47 attempts, that don't feel as bad at that point. You know what I mean? Like, he basically had an average game against this defense. Jari and Jones, athletic self, jumping over people on the sideline, but also getting interceptions. Emmanuel Agbo, who we haven't seen much from this season, gets his fumble recovery. And again, I know that wasn't like necessarily his play. By the way. Oh, yeah, and he had a pass breakup. I forgot about that. Yeah. So, like, those boys, they played well. They had a lot of turnovers on downs and a lot of, like, they were dominating on third down. So, overall, he needs his flowers, too. It wasn't just the fact that the Jaguars scored 34 points. It's also that they helped these guys under 20. And I've been saying this rule for 3 years now. If an NFL team scores less than 21 points, that team should have won. Full stop. I think an NFL offense should always have the responsibility of scoring 21 points or more, and I stand on that. So I think the Jacksonville Jaguars defense and offense both put out winning performances, and they walked away with a 14-point win in Denver. Great job, guys. I hope y'all enjoy this night.
Straight up, I got to give PJ Brown his flowers. He said 31-17 in the comments on Thursday, so I got to give him that, or it might have even been Tuesday. He informs us too, $200 win.
Bucky's on me.
Bucky's on
Not
me.
Bucky's on me. Hey man, I just want some of them Bucky's gummy bears, bro. Them things be hitting.
Yo, hey, you getting that brisket? Psh, instant win. Hell, just get me a damn one of them burritos, bro. I'll take whatever. Bucky's is the jam, y'all. Listen.
Nah, man. Bucky's gummy bears are the only ones my children would eat. I got these bougie little children, these little first world children now, man. These guys, I swear they stay good forever. They just great. Anyways, Mike says Richard Sherman's gonna be mad he's forced to watch the Jags now. No, he ain't. He gonna just watch the highlights and pretend he saw the game. You know what this is?
He's got to cover the playoff game, doesn't he? I'm just saying.
Maybe they'll give it to a better team.
You know, hey, look, you know.
But no, I said it earlier. Like, this was the best, the highest amount that the highest amount that the Broncos have given up this season. Point blank, full stop. We already talked about this last week that Jaguars also scored the most the Texans had given up this season at 29, the most the Colts had given up at 36, the most the Jets gave up all season at 48, and the second most the Chargers gave up, because the most they gave up was to the Colts, I believe, with 35 points. And now they've done it to the Broncos all after the bye week. Like, Liam Coen is in his bag, Trevor Lawrence is in his bag, and they've done it most of these weeks despite not having a run game or very much of a run game. So there's no question you can say, like, is Trevor Lawrence on the uptick, or is Trevor Lawrence like really here, or is he the real deal? At this point, if you still questioning, you're just a hater. And I'm not trying to be a appreciator or a hater. I'm just trying to say, like, hey, yo, that's it. Chris, Jags fan, says our offense put up 34 points on the #1 defense. There's not a question, and everybody was watching. So either if you can't admit that what that was, then I don't know what to tell you, because that was a really good defense with referees that let them play, and they did it despite not having much of a run game. 3.1 yards per rush from Travis Etienne. Bruh, this team is legit. They are for real, and I don't even know what to think about this. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, and this is what they are.
Them on camera, so but nobody's guessing. But no, with that in mind, there is one thing I am going to throw out to remind the world.
Okay, what's up?
At large, because I got to do the thing that I know you would normally do, and it needs to be done.
Still waiting for a big smile out of you. You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Okay.
Jag in Texas says, great for Trevor. He is no longer a fraud, in my opinion.
Oh,
that's progress. You know, when you can admit that you are no longer a hater, or that the person that you originally saw as being a fraud is no longer a fraud, maybe they've changed. Maybe you've grown. I give all of you guys credit. This therapy session has been great. Yes. Hey man, and a shout out. I do feel bad for Duval Pat Bryant. Like, I mean, many folks in Jacksonville may not know, but Pat Bryant is a Duval County like school system product, right? Like, he went to school down here in Duval County, so we don't want to see people get hurt, but we especially don't want to see people that represent Duval, even if he is playing for the Denver Broncos, get hurt. So hopefully he wasn't seriously injured. I don't know if any updates they provided other than he has movement in his extremities, but overall, that was a rough play with Montaric's Brown legal hit on Pat Bryant. But nevertheless, that's football.
It is.
It sucks, but it is what it is. These guys get paid to be in car accidents every play, and it's kind of just the unfortunate job of what it is. But no, you guys are killing these chats. Like, I want to make sure we get to most of these because, again, we're up at 8. What time is it? 9:00 at night. And these guys are just celebrating this. So Social says, did they even try PS2? I don't recall seeing a pass thrown towards Surtain, and they just gave him the respect. Other than Parker Washington. Parker Washington's throw when Surtain fell. That's the one.
Yeah, that was rough. I think, and that's not really trying him if he fell, in my opinion, but like, I think that's why maybe you didn't see so much BTJ in this game, is because they said, listen, he's not going to beat us. Hit us anywhere else. Okay. Trevor says, hold my beer.
Nah, man, they did well. And again, this has been an uptick where we keep questioning, is it real? Is it real? And they keep just showing you that it's real. And we keep being like, well, is it real? And this was going to be the biggest test before folks would finally get on that bandwagon and say, all right, cool. Now I think it's real. So now I can believe in this team. But in the words, Travon Walker. So anybody who didn't hear the Jaguars post game, Travon Walker was on with friend of the pod, Bucky Brooks, and he has some choice words. Can you play it?
About how great you guys are. How are you going to be able to keep everything under control? Just focus on the next game.
Right now, they just go hop on the bandwagon right now. Everybody in this locker room on the Jaguars team, even upstairs, we know everybody probably gonna try to hop on this bandwagon now, but we don't want anybody. They can stay where they at. It's us. It's all about the Jags. Care about it but us. Excuse my language, mama and dad, grandmama, but care about it but us.
Okay, well, let me just get on the bandwagon. Appreciate you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
My favorite part is over and above the colored language we took out, like the fact that Bucky, even as a member of the Jags like organizations media, has to ask permission to get on the bandwagon.
Bruh. That was the edited version. I think he caught Bucky off guard a little bit with the unedited version, but they are in their feelings about how folks have been talking in these streets. So they said, Liam Coen early on, he said the respect's not coming. Don't wait for it. The respect's not coming, and he was right. It's not. It ain't coming. And when it's finally coming, that just means you've already done way more than earn it. Like at this point, and the Jaguars have done that and some. So the fact of the matter is, this team has won now 11 games, likely going to win 13 if they don't do anything crazy or weird and drop a game in these last two. So for the most part, they've already done everything they needed to do to earn it. At this point, they just is soaking your victory Monday. F everybody but us, what Joshua Morrison says. That's AKA DTWD, Duval till we die. It's us versus all y'all. Duval versus all y'all. Like that's what it comes down to. I mean, you see Duval till we die. Like again, I'm a beat writer for Big Cat Country. I cover this team, but before I ever stepped into that press box, I was a fan of this team. So I've been a fan of this team since they've had one. Topa says, Travis, I wonder what's going through Jason's mind after Trevor cooking the number one defense. Jaguars United. Jaguars United. He might be, but he's still a Jaguars fan. So that's the weird part about it. Like, because folks, they've been so entrenched in their hatred of Trevor Lawrence that when you finally see him like balling out of control, then I don't know what you do, because if you support the team, but you also don't really seem to like the guy who's leading the team. I don't know how you kind of bring those things together, if that makes sense.
No,
does Jason believe finally?
Yeah,
do you believe in the words of Dion? Do you believe? That's the question for the national media, man.
And in other words of Dion, if you don't believe Jason Trent, ain't nobody care. Okay, at this point.
But no, Montaric Brown, I think he shall also get his flowers. Like I've heard a few people have asked about him in the chat here, and that breakup, and maybe we'll show it on Wednesday because I don't have it here right now. But that pass breakup on the trick play, like Denver easily could have gotten right back in the game had they completed this play, and he fought after being beat early on a trick play, and that's going to happen. You're going to get beat early on something. Like you're going to get beat on plays sometimes as a DB. More importantly, you're going to get beat on trick plays specifically. He's beat by like 6-7 yards, continues hustling to catch up to Courtland Sutton, gets his hand in there to kind of keep the ball loose, and as Courtland Sutton hits the ground, he continues fighting through his arm, through his grasp to make that ball be incomplete. Like that is a play that should be on the front of the projector in their film watching session, because that's one of those ones where it's like you could have easily given up on that, and you didn't. And that's the kind of fight that you will need to continue being the Jaguars' top cornerback, and he is. Like they lost him for a momentary point in the game. They lost Jordan Lewis for a momentary point in the game, and they still find a way to kind of not give up a touchdown on that drive and can continue to keep that 14-point lead. Shout out to that defense. Shout out to that secondary. Those guys balled out of control, man. Good stuff. It was just great to watch.
Quickly in the comments, I got to give shouts to frenemy of the show, Timmy Devil in the comments.
Frenemy.
We here, baby. Negative Timmy, referring to himself, called 11 wins on Jason Trent's Jaguars United show before the season started. So,
so does Timmy believe we're going to lose the last 2 games? I'm trying to. I want to understand where your line is, Timmy.
Oh boy, look at this. See, you know you ain't even right. It's funny, but you know you ain't even right.
They put belt to ass on that one pretty convincingly. Yeah, Trev won't win MVP because Stafford. But comeback player of the year should be his. Well, I mean, as much as I love it, but they probably gonna give that to CMC, right? Am I crazy?
No, well, I think the only other team that might get less respect than the Chargers might be, the Jags might be the Chargers, Jaguars. And then San Francisco after them as far as least respect goes.
You think San Francisco get? Oh, I'm sorry, you are a 49ers fan, so you might be biased in this, but
perhaps
the 49ers get less respect than the Jaguars.
I didn't say that. It's the other way around.
Oh, I'm verifying.
Yeah. The Jags get the least respect, clearly. Behind them are the Chargers, then the Niners. Because the Niners are left for dead. They got so many injuries, nobody thinks they're really going to do anything. They just think it's a good story, right? Your boys from first literally said that very thing this past week. What I mean with the Chargers is we're not hearing about Justin Herbert as an MVP candidate, though he damn sure should be one. That's the thing. Right?
Okay.
I'm real hard pressed. The reason why CMC, in my opinion, won't get that award, though, to your point, great candidate, especially this year, right? MVP candidate, perhaps, that isn't getting no conversation. That's Jonathan Taylor's fault, and that's okay. But at days in, real hard for me to believe a running back would get it over a quarterback, even Prince that was promised Trevor Lawrence.
No, I got you. How much is a 100 MPH beats ass? How much of a chance does Liam Coen have as coach of the year?
None.
That win?
0.
Why 0? Because of the respect ain't coming?
Respect ain't coming, Travis. Damn it. And the other reason is he told people to keep his name out of his mouth.
Really? Between Mike Vrabel, what he's doing with the Patriots, between Ben Johnson, what he's doing with the Bears, and while the Patriots aren't a big market team, well, they are a big market team, but not in the ways that you categorize most big market teams, if that makes sense. Like Ben Johnson with the Bears, they're going to get more visibility and notoriety. People just love the Patriots because of Tom Brady's time and Bill Belichick's time, so they already have those extra eyes just on them and rooting for them.
Right, you got.
And then Mike McDaniel with the Seahawks. Like, you're going to have a little bit of trouble getting above those guys who have been throughout much of the season been viewed as the coach of the year guys, if that makes sense. People have viewed these guys since the bye week as the coach of the year kind of candidates. So now Liam Coen will be the late dark horse to the race, if that makes sense. So if those other guys maybe have some hiccups at the end of the season, I can see it, and that he'd have a fighting chance, but I don't see it really happening.
The fact that the Pats have the seed that they do with probably the easiest schedule in the NFL, in my opinion.
It is easily. Okay.
Well, there you go. This is why I refuse to vote for Vrabel over Liam Coen, Kyle Shanahan, Ben Johnson. No disrespect to Vrabel. All this really proves is that the Titans were done to fire him. But hey, good news for you, Duval Pat. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So I believe Jacksonville right now, and if my math is correct, they're 6-1 at Everbank. So not counting the London game. I'm just saying they're 6-1 at Everbank.
Yeah. And
now they have a chance of having at least one, if not 2, home playoff games. That's a great situation for Jaguars fan base to be able to see these before you have a limited capacity next year. So I do hope that they also are able to kind of close this thing out. And I also do hope that the Baltimore Ravens upset the New England Patriots, and that, well, just for clinching purposes, I want the Colts to lose tomorrow, Monday Night Football, just for your team, of course, for your sake, not for Duval's sake. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes.
Robert says,
well, make sure you say Robert Kemp. There's so many Roberts in the comments.
I'm convinced. Robert Kemp says, I'm convinced Liam doesn't even want to win Coach of the Year. Ooh, because if he don't win Coach of the Year, it's just one more salty thing to put out there in the universe. It's just one more thing to lean into.
Respect ain't coming, Humpy Bumpies.
Oh, it's so good. But I said it a month ago, and people kept talking about why Jacksonville ain't getting this, why Jacksonville ain't getting that. And I'm like, why do y'all care? No, this team is convincingly showing you that they play better, they win more games, they just operate better in a pissed off fashion. Let them be pissed off. If everybody is out there in these streets just like fondling them, sorry, not fondling, but you know what I mean. If everybody is out in these streets just all on their job, then at that point you start feeling yourself, you start smelling yourself, and then that's the 2024 Jaguars when you need to go to London to find yourself, or have to go on this damn retreat just to understand who you are, and all these other mental things like sound like Aaron Rodgers on an ayahuasca retreat. No. Maybe they need to feel disrespected to play their best ball. So let the national media disrespect them. Good. And that pulls out the best in them. And then that pulls out the best in this Duval fan base. So y'all could be the petty ones for them and continue winning games. If y'all want Duval to win, lean into the disrespect and lean into the fact that they continue to do it. Great. Look at the Bucs without Liam. Liam has proven that he deserves Coach of the Year that's fair. Simply by not being in Tampa, he's proven his worth and now showing you what he can do in Jacksonville.
The abundance of evidence isn't what I question. Okay. It's again, how many people, to use your words, have told on themselves in the national media, and that, whether we like it or not, I've seen it happen, drives the narrative more than even I'm comfortable with. And I say this as a media member. I don't have a vote yet. That's my goal one day, to have a vote. But yeah.
This is a rough question, a rough statement, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. 100 miles per hour beat says this is a bargain bin roster with an amazing coach, with amazing coaching. Most of our playmakers are 5th to 7th round picks.
I'm not going to go
sure that's true,
but there
I feel like that might be a little bit extra.
Yeah, I'm not going to go full exaggeration alert, but there are players that were lower in the draft that are making an impact. Sure. I mean, we come out the gate talking about Parker Washington. He's not 5th to 7th round, but if this is you baiting me to talk about LaQuint Allen, let's go. Okay. But Jonah Monheim had to take the field. Robert Hainsey got hurt. Is this what we're talking about? I don't think so.
I mean, Parker Washington is a 6th round draft pick, just so you know. But
yeah, exactly. I'm sure he was citing right. He is that low. Okay, my mistake. I thought it was a little higher. My bad. Yeah. So then, yeah, cool. I'm all right with that. So social alky in there in the comments, bail me out. Thanks, brother. I know you said it there, but I want to give him shouts for being there for me as well.
Yeah, and Jacoby Myers was an undrafted free agent. Like, I know they obviously got him as a free agent.
Forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. But listen. Is that bad?
And he didn't look this dominant at his previous stops either. That's the other part about it.
Is that coaching? It's good coaching, but what element of it too? And this is getting into things you've talked about, right? With Jimmy Stones and the coaching staff in self-scouting. The awareness that these guys have in themselves is something that's jumped off the tape to you. I know you've talked about it before. So here on the Duval, of course, but
fair. That's fair. A lot of these guys are playing better ball than we've seen them play, whether it's Devin Lloyd, whether it's Antonio Johnson, even Eric Murray is playing better ball than he played in Houston. Like, the people were split on whether or not he was going to work out here in Jacksonville, and he's been pretty freaking good. So whether it's Parker Washington, there's a list of guys we can name that have played better because that is coaching on the defense and the offensive side of things, putting guys in the right spots and kind of allowing them to make plays. Trevor Lawrence, we've never seen Trevor Lawrence play this well. And that includes 2022 when they came back from multiple double-digit deficits, where that didn't look like this. That was Trevor Lawrence playing well in the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter, or just the 4th quarter and overtime to come back in very many games. But he didn't play this well consistently for multiple games. We literally have not seen this. So across this roster, you're seeing the effects of coaching. And it's not my job to tell you that these guys are good. Because if they're bad, just like when it was Doug Peterson and they were winning, I still told you they were bad. And that's not because I didn't like Doug or as a person. I just being honest with you guys. I thought it was bad and I thought they were winning despite him. I think they're winning because of Liam, but you're also seeing growth from a lot of these players across the roster. And I almost don't want to trust it just because of the PTSD I've had from the previous coaching and the previous GMs. But at the end of the day, this is objectively what it is, man. These guys are good, man. Trevor is responsible for 34 TDs, social Aki says. That might be right. Okay, I think he hit 30 at one point in this game. So maybe he might be.
I wonder if that's passing and not including the running tutties. I wonder if that's a thing, you know?
That's probably the 30. If he's saying he's 34, and I don't know if that's accurate, if it's over 30 combined, it wouldn't be just passing. But nevertheless, like that's how dominant he's been this season. It's feeling like that Baker Mayfield 2024 season. And if I hate saying it because I always thought that they're different guys, they're different types of athletes, like they play differently. And I didn't want to necessarily say just because Liam Coen coached both of them that it was going to be that. But it's looking like it.
Well, and I would even let me throw this nugget in too. Baker Mayfield, no disrespect to the Jaguars stack. Baker Mayfield had a much better dual threat at receiver in his time there too, I might add. With Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, bro.
Yeah, much better because we don't have that Mike Evans on this roster right now. I mean, if you want to see Mike Evans on this roster, it's Parker Washington. It's Parker Washington, and that sounds funny to say, but no. As far as just winning contested catches, that's Parker Washington's your guy right now. He's the guy who wins contested catches. Jacoby Myers is the guy who eats in the middle, maybe like your Chris Godwin, but they're not the same player. It's just kind of the role they're playing. That's what you got, bro. But yeah, we are approaching this hour mark, and I want to let these guys go and be family people. I don't know.
Let them hate watch. They're gonna go hate watch Ravens Pats, bro.
Finish hate watching. Oh, my bad. You're right. I forget. We have people that's they are not part-time in this, and I appreciate y'all for not part-time in this.
And you know, they're joining their coach in the quest to be petty. Hate.
Yeah, but we're seeing it. Gator John's Bite says James Gladstone is going to build what the Rams organization is, a sustainable winning organization. And that's what this looks like. That is absolutely what this feels like. That is not just good. It is sustainably good. It is intangibly good. And that's cool. I don't even love the phrase, but I'm going to lean into it just because they've earned it. It is an intangibly great roster, whatever that means to you. You imagine that and enjoy your night thinking about that. Whatever intangibly rich means, man. Happy Victory Monday, Duval. You got anything else you want to wrap up with?
Intangibly rich. I haven't whipped that bad boy out in a while. Pause. So no. Yeah. What a night for you, Duval Devout. I'll leave it at that. Travis D. Holmes, tell the world where they can find you, man.
Oh man, you can find me on all the socials. Travis D. Holmes, whether it's Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, I don't know, wherever. But more importantly, you can find my writing covering the Jaguars, BigCatCountry.com. If you're listening to us on the Duval Dive YouTube, please click that like button. Please comment on the stream. We appreciate you guys like hopping in, chatting with us, hanging out, talking about all this other nonsense. But most importantly, talking about these Jaguars because, hey man, they are better than we thought they was going to be. And that PTSD, maybe we can heal now. We're in the healing territory of the post-Balky, Doug Peterson era. Let's go with that. But yeah, click the stream because again, we couldn't make it. We couldn't be what we are without you guys, and we definitely wouldn't be grown. We're almost about to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's crazy to me. That's because y'all keep coming back, keep talking, keep liking, and we appreciate you. If you listen to us on the audio side, please rate and review us with 5 stars. I hate asking for stars like I work at a hotel, but this is what it is, man. This is the community we live in. So we appreciate you very much. And please let the folk know where you can be found, Mr. Kyle Nash.
Listen, sir, I enjoy that we're talking about going from PTSD to DTWD. How about that? Okay, with that in mind, hit the like, says Social Alky. Boom. Of course, I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at the SOTG. Find all my work, Facebook as well as a student of the game. Find my work covering the UCF Knights football and basketball, as well as my work out there in covering these Orlando Bowl games. The Cure Bowl was last week. This coming weekend on Saturday, the 27th, is the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and then perhaps also the Citrus Bowl. We'll see about that. Anyway, check out all that work as well as my work covering the Orlando Magic. All things that you should enjoy if you are into those sorts of things. And of course, as always, I will be covering your Jacksonville Jaguars with my personal champion, Travis D. Holmes, who's helped me bring you all the heat here tonight. Your comments, y'all, electric. Please keep celebrating, but do so responsibly by hate watching the Ravens and the Pats. So For my personal champion, Travis D. Holmes. For all you Duval divers, this is Kyle Nash, the student of the game. Until next time, everyone, class dismissed.